Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to go visit the UpWork headquarters because for my social media marketing agency, I was really struggling a lot, and going on UpWork and taking advantage of that platform really saved me from the depths of failure that I was facing at that time. I was on Mount Everest, you can say, and there was an abyss, you know what I'm saying? Or what is it called? Crevasse, whatever. I was deep inside that crevasse, pause. And right when I thought there was no hope, I saw the light, you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden from that light, it was a grapple. And the grapple was thrown by UpWork. And I hold on to that grapple just like Patrick and SpongeBob when he saw the hook and he just couldn't help it. He just grabbed that hook. I was the same way, grabbed that hook and they pulled me up. Yeah, basically UpWork helped me a lot. When I was like honestly about to give up, starting to lose hope, I went on UpWork, I did my own thing, and then I started getting a lot of clients. It really helped me a lot. So I'm gonna go in there, and don't worry, I'm gonna show you guys some actionable tips that you guys can do for your own UpWork profile so you guys can get some clients on UpWork as well. I'm going to the UpWork headquarters, and I am not going to leave until I show someone my appreciation for what they've done for me and the platform that they have. Oh, what? Oh, they're closed. Well, this blows, let's leave. The reason why I started SMMA was because at the time all these guru ads were selling it like a very easy and simple business to run, low effort, you only work 1 hour a day, you know, all that good stuff, work a few hours a day, start a business, all that kind of stuff you hear online. I totally fell for all that stuff. And you know, at the time I was working at my parents' restaurant. It was a failing restaurant, honestly, if we're being like totally honest with ourselves. Pretty much all 4 years of high school. Arun was working there too when he was in high school. Eventually, my parents got into a bad partnership. They kind of got scammed. Thanks, truck. Parents got into a bad partnership, pretty much got scammed by someone that they trust, so they felt really betrayed. Got into more debt than our house was worth at the time. They were working like 15 hours a day, every single day, no days off. Not even like a meme, but like actually they didn't have a single day off. And you know, they tried their best to stay happy, pretty much, have a happy family and all that kind of good stuff. And bear with me while I'm telling you this. Like I said, I'm gonna give you some actionable tips so that you can go on UpWork and get some clients yourself, and I'll teach you pretty much exactly what I did. But yeah, one of my favorite distinct memories is waking up in the morning, waiting for my dad to wake up. He wakes up and, you know, he's singing like, "Our house in the middle of the street," which is actually, it's from a coffee commercial, but I thought it was from the Full House TV show. So I thought it was like, you know, these painted ladies over here, and it always reminded me of that show, and it always reminded me of these houses in the background here. But I was wrong. Yeah, I had no idea. I didn't even watch the show or anything. I just, for some reason, you know, it said Our House, and the TV show was called Full House, so I thought they must be the same, but I was wrong. Despite their efforts to pretty much try to live a normal life, be happy, and pretend like everything was okay, it was a very stressful moment at that time. My dad opening these bills and, you know, taking a deep sigh of just being like, damn, I got these bills, they just don't stop. My mom too, she hated working at the restaurant. She always put a happy face on for the customers, but you know, I knew she hated the restaurant a lot. She would come home stressed out all the time, low-key a lot of times crying and stuff, you know, so it was a really terrible time. Felt really stressed out, felt like, bro, the universe is just not giving them a break because they're immigrants too. So they had a really tough life before this all happened, and this was supposed to be their big break, like, yo, we own a restaurant, we got our family, you know what I'm saying, everyone's good and all that. And I was like, bro, why is the universe not giving them a break? Why can't they just give them a break? And then I had a light bulb moment, which was, the universe doesn't give a fuck about me. I know that everybody's got their own story, everyone's got their own thing. I'm not trying to say this is a sob story. I'm just trying to say, you know, this is what motivated me, and this is kind of my reason why I was like, yo, I need to get some money. Typical stuff. I mean, if you went through the same thing or something similar, I'm sure you feel the same way. So I tried a lot of stuff. I got sucked into drop shipping. I bought courses for like Amazon FBA and whatnot. And, you know, those seem like really great business models because obviously I understood that e-commerce and purchases online were just going to skyrocket. So it was a booming industry. But the problem is, what is this guy doing? He's about to smoke a cigarette. Stop. Don't smoke that. Oh, he's okay. He's pissing on the cigarette. Good boy. Smoking is bad for you guys. So here's the problem with those business models, right? They require a lot of capital for you need money for inventory and advertising. Whereas SMMA, social media marketing agency, the great thing about that is you actually get paid to practice your skills. And the more you practice your skills, the more you can get paid. And you don't need any upfront costs. You don't need any, you know, inventory, no advertising fees, no nothing. Like the clients pay for ads if you're doing ads. If you're not doing ads, if you have an agency doing like graphic design or video editing or something, then, you know, there's no cost at all. It's just you working. And at the time it did feel unattractive because I was like, oh, I want to passive income. I want to just launch some projects and sit back, or launch some products, I mean, and sit back and see my money in the Stripe account just go up and go up. But it just wasn't gonna happen. I didn't have thousands of dollars to risk like that. I actually did risk money. You know, I put in a lot of money and then I lost a lot of it because I had no idea what I was doing. So that's when I was like, bro, SMMA is the way to go. You got to do that if you're a beginner and if you're broke. Speaking about the passive income thing though, on that, the thing with SMMA is you can actually make it semi-passive, because once you have more experience and you build your team and you put enough time into it, you can build your team where you're not really doing much except kind of managing the projects, managing the team once in a while, taking meetings and maybe just making big decisions for the team. And it does take time to get there, but eventually you could actually be that guy that's only working on a couple hours a day, maybe 1 or 2 hours a day, and you're traveling, you're spending time with your family and all that kind of stuff. So that's one reason why I wanted to pursue it, because I'm like, man, if I do make it big and if I treat it like a real business and take it real seriously, then I can probably get to that point myself. However, and I sound like a broken record here, but you do need self-discipline to make this work. So if you're not a disciplined individual, it's going to be pretty difficult to grow your SMMA, because it's going to be like going up a hill on a really shitty electric scooter. But if you are disciplined, it's going to be fast, fun, and easy like this. We're going to try something called banh mi. Vietnamese sandwiches are delicious. First of all, Erwin got some energy drink, and my face is all itchy, man. It's got beta-alanine in it, or betamine or something like that. Beta. And it's supposed to like itch you into hitting new PRs when you're lifting. Only thing we're lifting here is a sandwich into our mouth. I don't know why we needed all that.
Really want PCP.
Yeah. Wait, what?
Can I get 2 of the fancy pork, please?
Check this out. Ooh. Fire. So, what did I do on UpWork that was so different? I was doing Facebook ads at the time. I didn't really have great case studies. Basically, you can say I didn't have any case studies at all. So instead of having case studies and being like, yeah, I got this result for this client, I've experience with this much ad budget, et cetera, instead of what I did was I made a presentation, which basically outlined how I would approach their ad account. And I even went above and beyond, and each one that I considered a high quality proposal, I actually would make a fake Facebook ad. And then, so I'd go in the back end of Facebook Business Manager. It lets you like preview ads basically, right? So I pretty much previewed the ad and I put the client's product in the ad, my own ad copy, and then I would screenshot that and be like, hey, these are the ads that I would launch for you because of X, Y, and Z. You know, this ad right here targets X, Y, and Z emotion. This ad right here targets this demographic, so we could be testing both to see which one performs better. So that's what I was doing because I didn't really have too much experience. And then eventually someone gave me a chance. They paid me $400 a month, and I was doing way more work than $400 a month worth of work. Like I was making custom videos for them. I was doing like custom pictures of the product, graphic designing, photoshopping the product, all this kind of stuff to try and get them some more sales. And that is pretty much action step number 1, which is go ahead and make a portfolio, little mini kind of presentation type thing where you can have whoever you're reaching out to, pretty much whatever company. I would do that. You don't have to do it for every single one, but I would definitely do it for the ones that you think are really high quality potential clients. If you want to go all out, you might as well just do it for every single person, but that just might take way too long. So I think what you should do is, like, if you think it's a low quality proposal or a low quality, like you don't have the highest chance of getting that client, then maybe don't take all that time. But for the ones where you think, okay, I think I have a chance, I think I have a shot, then take the time and make that. Regardless, if they're high quality or not high quality, you definitely have to make a default presentation where you can show this is how I would approach your ads, this is how I would do all that kind of stuff. If you don't do ads, if you're doing, let's say, video editing, or if you're doing graphic design, that's really easy, because instead of having to say this is my process for X, Y, and Z, all you have to do is say, hey, these are some videos I've made that are similar to yours. And eventually you're going to find out that, okay, there are a lot of similar types of clients on here that have, or that want this similar type of editing style. And if your portfolio doesn't have the editing style, well, just, connect the 2 dots, edit a video in that same style. Same thing with graphic designing. If you're seeing that there are certain type of clients that are really frequent on UpWork, that you see yourself applying to those types of projects or their projects, then go ahead and fill in the gap and make those types of graphics or, Photoshop designs, etc. So if, for example, if you see a lot of people want Mr. Beast type thumbnails, go ahead and make a bunch of Mr. Beast type thumbnails and then make a presentation out of it. And then on top of that, what you want to do also to make yourself even more valuable, though, if you're just doing video editing or just doing graphic design, you have to explain your knowledge of social media and psychology or market psychology, content psychology, that kind of stuff, how you would manage their profile if they were giving you that opportunity as well. Even if their job posting doesn't say it's a management position, I would still go above and beyond to say like, hey, in case you guys ever need this, I can also do this, because that way they know that you are someone who specializes in social media as a whole instead of just strictly video editing, right? The thing you don't want to mess up here though is you don't want to be like, okay, I can do your video editing, I can do your graphic design, I can run your profile, I can do your customer support, I can do your Facebook ads. You don't want to do all that because then it seems a little weird, but you want to be kind of bubbled into your own service. So if it's like, you know, video editing for YouTube videos or TikTok videos or short form content, you want to talk about how you understand how short form content can help them grow, show them some case studies, show them your style of editing, etc., etc. So on top of this, I was putting in all this effort and I was also applying to jobs pretty much all day. I treated it like my full-time job. And like I said, I was really struggling with my consistency. So all day means pretty much meaning just like as much as I could until I just felt completely depleted, you know, which sucked. Obviously, I wish I could push through, but yeah, it is what it is. And that is action step number 2, is just make sure you are applying to as many as you can. Oh, and I almost forgot to mention also, when you're applying, if you don't have your portfolio yet, if you don't have a good UpWork profile, then make sure you're just applying at a low rate, okay? You don't have to apply for free. If you apply for free, it kind of looks like you're begging a little bit and it's kind of weird, but just apply for a low rate. Apply for, you know, anywhere from $10 to $15 an hour, even maybe like $7 an hour, depending on what country you live in. But you can apply at those rates, and that way people will see your portfolio, they'll see you're hungry, they see you have a cheap rate, they'll give you a shot. Okay, next step is now I got a bunch of meetings, right? So I was hopping on a bunch of meetings and I was doing a lot of sales calls, and dude, I personally hate sales calls. So one reason I didn't want to get into SMMA actually is because I knew that I would have to do sales and talk to people to convince them to get my service. And before, I saw sales as like this high pressure, like I got to manipulate them into buying my product and hiring me and all that kind of stuff, and which is why I hated sales. Like I said, we were scammed, like my family was scammed, so like I hated the thought of like manipulating people into it. But you have to look at it through this lens. And it sounds a little bit ridiculous, but if you treat it this way, then it'll be a lot more effective if you feel, you know, the same way about sales that I do. You have to look at it like you're a doctor and that the prospective client is a patient of yours. So they come into your office and you're the doctor and you're asking, hey, you know, let's see what's up. Like, what do you need help with and how can I help? What are the problems that you're dealing with? Why are you looking for help? What exactly do you expect from me? Et cetera, et cetera. And they'll tell you exactly what they want from you. And then that way you can be like, okay, well, in conclusion, I think I can help you because X, Y, and Z. Here's my portfolio. This is what I've done. I think it's a great fit because you just mentioned this, and you know, this on my portfolio matches exactly what you're asking for. So it's kind of like that. You want it to be a good conversation and a mutually beneficial conversation. You shouldn't be doing high pressure sales like, hey, just letting you know right now, if you don't buy on this call, then I'm probably not going to be available tomorrow. So you better buy now. Send me the money right now. Otherwise, I'm not going to hold your spot. Like, you don't want to be a dick, dude. It's just, I think it's just really weird to do that type of sales calls. But yeah, anyways, that's kind of weird. But that's what I did. And I was embarrassing myself a lot in the first sales calls that I was doing, but that's part of the process. So that's action step number 3, is take a bunch of sales calls and don't be afraid of embarrassing yourself. I was stuttering and I was like super nervous on a lot of my first sales calls. Pretty sure I broke a sweat in my first sales call because I was so goddamn nervous, man. I was just really, really nervous. But now when I take sales calls, I'm confident in my ability because I have so many sales calls under my belt, and it's really not that tough for me. It's just a casual conversation. That's how I look at it. At this point, I had a couple, you know, social media management clients. That's what I was going for because I tried the Facebook ads thing for a while. I wasn't really feeling that. I felt like it was really difficult and it wasn't my expertise. And like I said, I was really struggling with my discipline still. So instead of just getting a ton of clients, I was just working with maybe 1 or 2 clients maximum. And yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, I sound like a broken record, but if you're not self-disciplined, you can't do boring work, then you're not going to like succeed in this business. You're not going to succeed in anything, let alone this business and being an entrepreneur. And I decided, and I was still, as you can see, I had like pretty much entrepreneur ADD, and I was jumping from service to service. I was like, you know what, forget Facebook ads, let's try social media management. Tried that, got a couple of clients doing that. Was still only making like maybe $2,000 a month, and plus I hired some employees, so I was making maybe like less than $500 a month profit. It was really, really bad. And I tried that for a little while, same thing. Eventually what happened was short form content started blowing up. So a lot of people were taking advantage of short form content. People started talking about short form content agencies and video editing agencies. And I was like, all right, you know what? Social media management is kind of tough because these clients expect a lot from me, and it's kind of tough to like scale that because it's also a skill that you have to teach your team members. It's harder to find. And I thought, all right, it's probably going to be a lot easier to find video editors to join my team rather than just social media managers, because there's so much involved with social media managing. You can train someone, but even when you train them, it's still complex to make sure they do everything correct. Whereas for video editing, you literally have your team member just edit the video and then you quality check it, meaning you just revise it. So they send you the video and say, hey, just change this, 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 and this. You send it back to them, they make those changes, they send it back to you, it's good to go, you send it to the client, right? So that was kind of my theory there. So that's when I was like, all right, we need to do a video editing agency. I had to unfortunately let go of everyone on my team. I had 3 people on the team, man, which is ridiculous. Not everyone was full-time though, but still, it's like way too much for like only making barely $2,000 in revenue a month. So I had to let go of everyone that wasn't a video editor, which really sucked because I, developed a really close friendship with one of those guys. The other one sucked though. Arun knows what I'm talking about. The other one was trash, dude. He was so difficult to reach, terrible communication, terrible reliability, everything. So that one I didn't feel bad for. He deserved it. The other guy I felt really bad. It sucked. What are you gonna do? It's a part of business. If you don't want to do hard things, don't start a business, I guess, right? So by then we were doing video editing, and that's when I still struggled with my discipline, but it was getting better, and I was getting a little bit better each time, right? So at this point, I was able to get some clients. It was something I was really comfortable with, really confident with. I already had some sales experience. I had outreach experience, so it was easy to like get on sales calls and all that. Now it was just figuring out the team side of things, figuring out the client side of things and all that kind of stuff, and just stacking on more clients, I guess. So I stacked on more clients, and I actually had one client who offered to pay $6,000 a month for video editing, just one single client. And, again, like I said, had a really bad focus issues, really bad like consistency issues. So ultimately that didn't work out. It sucks, because it would have been a great client to have. It was like a dream unicorn client. Yeah, Arun, how do you feel about that client that we lost?
Which one? The main one?
Yeah, that was a bag that I'll say Akash fumbled that one.
Very embarrassed and really disappointed in myself for that. But yeah, I mean, honestly, when that happened, I was feeling super low after that, because I was like, bruh, am I ever gonna be disciplined? Am I ever gonna figure this out? Am I ever gonna like be consistent and be the person I want to be? Which sounds so over dramatic, but that's it was what was going on in my head at that time. Now, after fumbling that bag though, I was like, all right, I need to like dedicate all my focus on becoming more consistent, like no matter what. I have to figure this out. And right now I have a pretty obnoxious self-discipline stack, I guess you can say. If you listen to Alex Ramosi, he's a really wealthy entrepreneur, really popular business YouTuber right now. He talks about he doesn't really have a routine or anything. He just gets up and goes straight to work and just works all day. I wish I could do that. Instead, what I do is I have this like routine that I do a little bit. It's not like a 3-4 hour routine. It's like maybe just an hour in the morning. But it's helped me a lot. And then not only that, but I've also gotten other help. So I was like, bro, I can't do this on my own. I've been trying for long enough. So I need to figure out, I need to go and reach out to professionals that deal with this kind of thing. And that's when everything has been kind of been going good after that, man. I feel definitely more like myself, definitely accomplishing more things. The story ends with me going through a long and rigorous hiring process while we look for more and new team members. We hired a bunch of people, we fired a bunch of people, some people left, which is okay, it's all good, it is what it is. Eventually, once I started to really hone in on my discipline, and once I really built a solid team, I really was putting everyone where my weaknesses were and just focusing on what I was confident and like stronger in, I guess. That's when we went from struggling and only hitting 2 to 3K a month with barely any profit margin, since I was just giving all the money to the team pretty much. That's when we went from that to hitting 10K a month consistently within 90 days. And right now we're on the road to hitting 20K a month, man. So make sure you subscribe so you can see that. And if you want to learn how to get to 10K a month, join Agency Go Discord for free. It's free. There's no upsells, no crazy. There are, okay, maybe there is an upsell, but it's not a forced upsell. There's no scummy thing. I literally just want to help you for free, because I feel like, and this is the selfish reason, right? And there's a win-win here. I feel like if I help enough people, then not only are we going to have a community of like-minded people who feel this way about SMMA, they don't like all the scammy, like really weird sales tactics and all that stuff, but also, and this is the really selfish side, is if I help a bunch of people get to 10K a month, then eventually I can probably offer a service to those people who are already making that much money and help them get to the next level, right? That's kind of the theory right there. But anyways, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.